Hi Flosstube, welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. My name is Lori. I've been here for a while, taping and retaping this show. um, Different things have made me start over again, but then I went through the whole entire video and I always watch it back to make sure I don't say something incorrectly or that can't be added into the show notes. So as I'm watching it, I'm realizing I lifted the camera up higher and a lot of the pattern was being cut off. I guess I wasn't holding it up higher. So let's start again. It's not going to be a long video because I know I went through this already. This is a special video regarding Stitch Maynia and how I'll be handling Stitch Maynia this year. Stitch Maynia started in 2015 by a group that wanted to start new starts, and they posted it on Facebook. And the first year that I started stitching, I believe it was 2017, I thought I'd try Stitch Maynia, but I couldn't put my first project down to go on to the next one, so it didn't work for me. And then some time later, I started my Flosstube, and then I decided to do some sort of Stitch Maynia. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm doing Stitch Maynia my way. Everybody does it their way. We can do it whatever way we find comfortable, whether it's a whip mania, working on your whips for each week and then swapping them out, a whole month of the same whip, a new start every day of the month. But if you know me and how I always did my starts and projects, I work on a 2-day rotation. So I thought I would just keep Stitch Maynia the same thing. And every 2 days, I'll start on a new project. So I will go through the projects of what I will be stitching. Hopefully I'll give you all the details that you'll need of what I'm going to be stitching on, but this is in no particular order. The first one comes from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I belong to their Stitch monthly group this year, and it's the first time I've done this where they tell you what ornaments to stitch in what months. And then they also, I believe, have 2 free months where you can pick your own. But I'm going to be stitching Ursula Michael design, My Friendly Gnome, which is this one right here, and it's called for DMC floss, but I don't want to do it on a white. I'll either do it on, this was somewhat of a gray, and this one's a blue, and I haven't decided yet. I'm not committing. I still have a couple of weeks, but I wanted to get going of showing you my projects so that you know what I'll be stitching starting in May. Okay, let's go through these, and again, no particular order. Stone Street Stitchworks put out this freebie called Winter Village, and I'm going to just pick out 1 or 2 houses and I'm going to stitch it together in an ornament. I'm not putting any of these snowflakes in the middle. I just want a little vignette of houses to make a small ornament, and I'm going to be stitching that, oops, wrong one, wrong envelope, on a 18 count country mocha. It's a remnants piece. People ask me what do I do with my remnants, and this will fit in perfectly. I have to use probably a tension hoop if I can fit the circumference on this. I have a small one, and what else was I going to tell you about this? Oh, it'll fit here because it's only about approximately 15 inches high. So I'm excited to try this one on that remnant. Then I pulled out Prairie Schooler Christmas Alphabet. If you were with me this past year, I stitched this in my grandson's name, Caleb, and I made it into individual pillows. I'm not going to do individual pillows this year. I'm going to do it as one pillow, and I'm going to stitch my great nieces, 2 of them, names. So 2 days will be Sophia stitching and 2 days will be Ava stitching. And I'll finish that into little pillows for their Christmas tree for this year. And I will be stitching that on a 16 count Heartland. By this tag, this is not from my local needlework store, so I'm thinking this is from 123 Stitch, probably a Picture This Plus Heartland. It's 16 count Ada. So I'll be stitching those 2 ornaments with the Call for DMC colors. Then this past year I stitched 2 ornaments from this pattern from Prairie Schooler, and it's called Evergreen. And I stitched the fox, let's see over here, and then I stitched the deer in the back. So this time I'm going to do the squirrel, and I don't know if I'm going to do the house. I haven't decided totally if I'm going to do the bear, the dove, or the house that's in the back. But eventually I want to do 6 ornaments from this pattern, and I'm going to stitch that on a 28 count sage, Springfield sage. That's it, Springfield sage. It's coming out a little blue, but it's a little greener. Yeah, that's more like it. And it's a 28 count. And I have my tension hoop here ready. And I'm using the Call for DMC colors. Then this was a freebie on Pinker and Punkin stitching, and it's N apostrophe pumpkin. Pinker N apostrophe Punkin, Punkin. It was a freebie on their website or in their blog spot, and I had a hard time printing it out. And I mentioned it that sometimes I don't do freebies because I have these issues. People have explained to me how to help, do it. But 2 people stepped in. My friend Dee sent me a copy of it printed out. And a viewer who won a giveaway, Marilyn, sent me this as well. So thank you, both of you. And the people who sent me information on how to rectify the problem. I'm going to stitch this similar. I'm hoping. I don't know if it's going to come out the way she did it. MommaLovesYouGB Michelle made this a pocket pillow. She basically stitched Santa and below on one piece of fabric, and then the rest of the outside border on a second piece. And then she folded the top down, and she made like a little pocket. And she did not stitch the Christmas tree or the candy canes, but she filled it with candy canes when it was completely done. I'm sure people that watch me must watch Michelle. She's amazing. She comes up with these fabulous ideas of finishing that, I should have thought of that. She's really amazing. And I'm going to stitch this on an 18 count ash gray dots. I'm going to see how it looks. I'm going to start with the Santa Claus and the outside border and see how it plays out. I've never stitched on the printed dots before, and I look at it and it's hard to see the space where to put the needle, but maybe with my mag eyes and the lighting I'll be able to figure it out. That's the plan. And it's called for all DMC, calls for all DMC colors. I talk into my bag instead of talking to the camera. Okay, let's see. The next one that I'm going to share with you is My Favorite Things by Sue Hillis. I'm going to start off with the mittens and the hat and see how I do with that. It calls for all DMC or Sullivan's, but I have DMC colors. So I will be stitching on that. And I selected, these are scraps again, 2 dirty Adas. is what it's called. And it, in like, not on camera, but in real life, it seems to match it pretty well. So I'm going to see how the colors, if they pop out on that. A lot of pinks and reds. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And then if it looks really nice, then I'll know to pick another ornament from there, and I can do it on the same fabric. And it's an 18 count Dirty Ada. This one I'm going to try again on the 18 count pin dot. It's gray. And I'm going to do Puntini Puntini, You Warm My Heart. And I didn't open this yet, but I think it says that the nose and the heart can be stitched in if you don't have the buttons, but this came with the buttons. There's a little heart and the little nose on the bottom, and it calls for DMC. So I'm really excited about this. I love Puntini patterns. I stitched Welcome Summer last year, and I'll be putting it out this summer since I fully finished it. Okay, let's see. I have 3 more. There are multiples in them, but just 3 more envelopes to share with you. The next one's Cuore Batticuore, Cuore dell'Angelo, the heart of the angel, and I'm going to stitch 2 of these. One will be for Caleb, and one, God willing, will be for my second godchild. She's going to be a little girl, so I don't know, I'll pick one of them, and I think I'll just, like, they have all different color hair. I think I'm going to do a brown-headed child, because James and Amy are both brownish, dark brown, light brown hair. So I'm going to anticipate that, but who knows? I mean, anything's possible. Anyway, I'm going to try stitching that on a 28 count. This was rock quarry. I have a piece of thread there. I got thread all over. This was the remnants piece. And I also have a 28 count antique blue. So I know it's called for like the beiges. This is Legacy by Picture This Plus. So I'll pick 2 of these, and the Legacy is a 28 count as well. I'll pick 2 different ones most likely, or I will pick, I think the Legacy will be nice because of the turquoise in here. I don't know how it will show up on the other colors, so if necessary, I'll pick out another 28 count, since I'll keep them the same size. And a 28 count piece of Lugana, and it's all called for DMC, and I have them all pulled out. So I'm anxious to start all of these. Actually, you know, they're little, they're exciting to get done, to see the finish, but then I got to finish them. The next one I'm going to start, or whatever, in any order, is from Abby Rose Designs. I've loved this since the moment it came out, and I finally purchased it. It's Primitive Merry Christmas Pillow. And it's called for gassed weeks, 1 weeks and 1 DMC, but mostly gassed colors. And I picked out 2 fabrics. One is an 18 count Dirty Ada, and the other one is a remnants piece. I don't know the color of it, but I'm leaning towards this one because of the modeling, and there's modeling in the picture. And this is an 18 count. The only thing is, this is very, very flimsy, so I'm thinking it came from 123 Stitch. This might be a Picture This Plus. I find them a little soft, so I have to put this in a Q-snap to hold it taut, so that when I go to stitch, I don't pierce the thread sometimes. And then the last one that I'm showing you is going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Stretch for me. A stretch in the fact that it's going to be on Black Ada. Now, I've tried Black Ada before and I gave up on it. But never say never. I'm going to try it again. This is 16 count. And I'm going to start with Jolly Claus and Merry Mrs. Claus. And I'm going to try scheduling, like I always make plans of when I'm going to start, actually, even though I'm not telling you the order I'm starting in. If it could fall on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, I can get some day stitching in. So maybe with daylight, I can work better on the black fabric. I have an OttLite and I have magnifiers. So I'm going to give it a real good shot this time. And if for some reason I can't really see it, then I'm hoping to find an aqua colored fabric. I have white that I can dye with aqua that I have already. I didn't dye it yet, but I have the Rit dye, and I'll try that. So hang in there and come back and see my progress in May, and I will tell you how everything went. What went well? Hopefully it all went well. And the other thing is, I'm going to stitch 2 whips this month in the month of May, which would be Joan Elliott's Christmas stocking in the theme of Christmas, and the other one is the Primitive Hare La Befana, which is also in the theme of Christmas. And then one that has nothing to do with the holiday whatsoever, and that's my Long Dog Templar Prophecy. I will be stitching 2 days into that. And because I am going to stitch the year 2022 as an incentive to get it done by next year. So it's a 15-page chart. And in the first year, I stitched pages 1 through 6. So the plan this year is to get 7 through 12 done. I don't know if I can, but I'm going to try. And then 13, 14, 15 in the final year to get it done. Those are my plans for Stitch Mania. Thank you so much for visiting with me. I hope I've inspired you to start new things for Mania. You have enough time to plan, so no excuses. All right, guys, until next time, stay safe. Bye.